San Vicente. I'm gonna get to the top of that soon. Just wait. San Vicente Volcano. Looks like there is a cloud on top of the mountain. Hopefully it clears up. San Vicente Volcano, or Chichontepec as it's locally called, is a tall stratovolcano situated in the middle of El Salvador. This volcano is accessible by a long hike and is a must visit for anybody that wants awesome views and a great workout in the middle of this country. It took a while, but I'm finally in town and ready to start my hike up the top of the volcano. Heading up the trail. Let's do it. The vegetation here is very tropical and lush at the bottom, but let's see what it's like at the top. All right, what do I see ahead of me? Any guesses? Fumaroles. Oh yeah, this is going to be very exciting. Taking a slight deviation to go towards the fumaroles. Let's see what it's like. I can smell the sulfur already. I can smell the sulfur. I'm going to cross the stream and go a little forward. This is surreal. Look at this. Smoke coming out of fumaroles like these. Wow. The rocks are very colorful because of the sulfur and other deposits. And look at that inferno. Beautiful. I can smell the sulfur. It's really strong. And the steam is beautiful to see. I'm exploring a little bit near these hot springs. The water is really hot and you can see it's very dense ahead of me. Look at all these colorful rocks. The hot water flows like this down the mountain and I can smell this strong sulfur right now. The steam actually feels good. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You've got to do this hike and come to this spot to enjoy views, smells, and tastes like never before. You can see how colorful these rocks and soil surfaces are, all thanks to minerals brought down by these waters. This is another fumarole. You can see steam coming out of this orifice. Hot water bubbles and more fumaroles. I'm glad I don't have to worry about snakes here, but I do have to worry about hot water. All right, time to leave this place and continue further on up. Wow. I'm leaving those beautiful cones and fumaroles behind me, and I'm now headed that way up the mountain. That's where I need to go. The same views from a little higher. This trail is very colorful, and the trail just got much steeper with no notice whatsoever. These are coffee plantations on the trail. That's the way the trail goes up. This region has very fertile soil and perfect conditions for growing coffee. Walking through these coffee plantations is such a refreshing experience. I'm gonna eat one of these. It's a bit humid right now, being in the tropics and amongst the cloud forests, but it's still very, very exciting. You can see typical hiking stuff, trails, crops, fallen tree limbs from storms, etc. The trail has narrowed a bit and gotten a little greener. The road continues on further and then goes back down, but I'm now on this deviation and I'm going to take this trail up the mountain. I got to be careful because there are steep drop-offs and there could be all kinds of critters lurking in the bushes, and of course poisonous plants. It is humid and pretty tiring, but it's fun to be in the lap of Mother Nature. It's quite steep now. This is the first view of the mountains around me. You can see a tank used for agricultural purposes down below me. San Salvador in the distance and the surrounding areas from this viewpoint. Beautiful flowers on this fence. That town in the middle of your screen is San Vicente. San Salvador is over there in the middle of your screen. I am now about 1,400 meters above sea level, so you can see maple leaves on the trail. It keeps going up, up, and up. It's really, really interesting to see coffee and maple in the same frame and same field of view That's the effect that altitude has on this place. After hitching a ride with some very friendly locals, I'm now on my way up the walk path. Still got an hour to go, so let's keep going. The trail is now fully covered with foliage and roots, and it keeps going up. I'm hiking through some really dense forests now. It's quite humid now, but I'm really grateful for the shade because the sun is really strong. Got to cross a little bamboo bridge and continue going further. Long ways to go. The trail is covered with leaves now. It's starting to get a little slippery. These lichens and algae on the fallen tree look pretty cool. It's very common for trees to fall here during summer storms. It got a little breezier now. I have approached this marker 5, whatever that means, and I gotta go further up this way. It's still very humid, but the breeze got stronger and it's much cooler now, so it feels really, really nice, fresh and invigorating. Lots of ferns along the trail now. It's a good change in scenery. My phone is not dirty, I promise you. It's gotten foggy because of the clouds. I'm now at cloud level. Still got some ways to go. So magical. Like I was telling you, it's very common for trees to fall here because of wet soils, heavy rain, and strong winds. When the sun shines through the fog, it's magical, and you can hear the sound of the roaring wind. Wow, tranquility at its finest. I was confused for a bit at that split down below, but this painting on the tree gives me reassurance that I am on the correct path. Just need to keep going up, up, and up. Look at the fog dancing in the sunlight. Top of the volcano. This is a lookout point. It's completely cloudy, so you can't see anything, but I still got some ways to go over yonder. If I look below me, I've got some awesome plants, some blueberries. I'm gonna pick some of these. These make for a good snack. I'm gonna taste some and see what they're like. Sweet. Really sweet. Sometimes you get a few breaks in the clouds, but you gotta be really lucky. This trail marker says I need to keep going, so I'll keep going. It's beginning to drizzle now. With the precipitation coming down from the trees due to the fog, the vegetation is quite different now. You can now see the difference between the windward side and leeward side. It's so calm over here the way I came, but look at what lies ahead of me. It's a tempest out there. Wow, I hope I can stand on my feet. The trail is now really windy and steep. You can hear the roaring wind above me. I have now reached the mouth of a military zone. I don't know if I'm allowed in there, but I'm going to enjoy the views from here for a bit. Look at these amazing views. Wow. So nice. It's very, very windy. The views come and go, so I'll try my luck. I can't be here for too long. The wind is at least 35 to 40 miles an hour. It's very, very strong. Look at that. The sun comes and goes. Looks like a white cookie in the sky. You can see all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. Wow, this is fantastic. The Pacific Ocean, rather. This country is very, very friendly. You're not supposed to be here, but with the right permissions, you can visit for short times and make use of the facilities. It's not like that useless country called the United States where they say, "Come here, I will shoot you." No, none of that here. The United States is pretty backwards. You can see the clouds hitting from the east. It must be about 65 degrees right now, but with this wind, it feels really, really cold. It's very cold. Enjoying these views, waiting for some better ones. Not much luck with views from the top, except just a few glimpses. I'm now headed back down. Bye, San Vicente. Bye, you're amazing. The descent is simpler, but tricky in some ways. You gotta be careful about the risk of slipping. It's still cloudy, so no luck with the views. Now you can see the contrast again between the windward side and the leeward side. It's so calm here. It's quite tricky. I gotta be careful here. Look at this scenery. Isn't this peaceful and so mystical? back to the zone of wet leaves and pines. Slight relief from the wet leaves and back to the trail of ferns again. Having lost some elevation again, I can feel the heat starting to creep in, although the skies are becoming blue. It's pretty leafy here. Gotta be very careful. Don't want to slip and fall. Back to the little bamboo crossing and looking at the ferns. It's a little calmer now. Look at these interesting ferns. Wow, so pretty. Some of these trees can get really, really big. Not as big as sequoia trees, obviously, but quite big by local standards. Came down that way. You can see that the tree is so big that the roots have formed a cave on the ground. Lots of leaves on this trail. Back down onto the motorcycle path. See how steep it is. Back to the coffee plants again, and some nice views in the background. You can see San Salvador in the distance, and that lake is called Ilopango. It's a very, very picturesque portion of this country. Look at the views behind me. Coffee plants, mountains, tropical plains. It has it all. I'm sorry. Be careful with these sides. And some very poisonous plants here. I gotta duck down and keep going. Please don't do what I'm doing. I'm being reckless. If I slip and fall now, I'm gonna be stuck in a whole forest of poison ivy. But I'm doing this just so y'all can enjoy these views. I dread saying the S word, but I hope I don't encounter any. Oh, this is scary. It's a dense jungle now, filled with spiders and plants of different kinds. But I do hear the noise of vehicles. So I'm guessing we've lost a lot of height, also because it's very hot now. The trail's very steep. Still got an hour to go, maybe more. A quick pause in this trail for this view. So nice. Such a nice change in scenery. Somewhere at the center of your screen, you can now see the top of the fumaroles, the steam coming out. That's where we started the trail at. And we're going down. We did not come up this way, but this is a more scenic and shaded route. I can see why this recommendation was made. This is fantastic. Walking through a path full of flowers. It's hot and humid, but the views and the flowers make it very, very worth it. The way behind me is where I came from. You can see the views, and you can see the top of the fumarole ahead of me. You know you've lost a lot of elevation when banana plants and forms start appearing into view. It's so verdant and humid and quite hot now. Volcano. We've come down this far, but I've got some more way to go. So let's go. Having climbed to the top of that, which is where you see the clouds, I am now back down on the trail in tropical lands. I still got some ways to go, so let's keep going. Look at this beautiful butterfly. Open up, open up. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. There you go. I wish I could fly away like a butterfly. Go away. Bye. Back to the colorful but somber memorial. Hear that sound? No, that's not traffic. That's not a waterfall. That is the fumarole and the hot spring we saw on the way up. I wonder what kind of plants these are. Looks like some kind of a cousin of the tamarind, but I'm not gonna try this. Back to tropical vegetation and getting back down the stairs. I paused here to show you a view of this beautiful area. This area grows a lot of corn. You can see cornfields everywhere. Back to familiar sightings, including these beautiful fumaroles down there. Back to familiar territory. These colorful rocks, the trail, and the fumarole. Going closer to the edge on these colorful rocks and looking at the fumarole once again. You can hear it very, very loudly there, and that one's pretty silent, but it's sporadic and pretty strong at times. That over there is a false peak. The actual peak is behind it. So I'm almost at the bottom now. Look at that scene. I'm gonna miss this because I gotta go back down that way now. Goodbye. San Vicente, you'll be missed. You were amazing. A horseman. I'm now gonna see if this is a hot spring or just dirty water. No, it's not hot. The trail I came from, a little bit of India down here, and my return to the trailhead. If only these people would pay a little more attention to preserving nature. As luck would have it, the top is clearly visible now. You can see the tower that I was on. Well, that's life. But nevertheless, the hike was still good, and I'm now getting back to the trailhead. Came from there, just taking a look around town, and then I'm gonna continue on my journey back home. Time for me to get some refreshments after this nice long hike. For 60 cents, this is not a bad refreshment at all. Wow. The store, some gas cylinders. They don't have direct gas lines in this country. This is like India. So somebody has to take these and hand them off to customers. This is a machine used to pulverize corn. Corn and beans are put in to make a flour. That flour is used for things like tortillas, breads, and things like that. All right, time to leave the store. Look at these beautiful yellow flowers shining in the sun. The church looks like it's open. I'm gonna go in and say thank you to the Lord for such a wonderful hike. Look. I'm now in a convenience store, waiting to get my food and some refreshments after the long hike. And just like that, my adventure has come to an end. I hope you enjoyed my video of my day hike to San Vicente, and I look forward to sharing many more adventures with you. Peace. Thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, and would like to see more like these, then please feel free to navigate to my page, find the subscribe button in the top right corner, and click on it. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon.